So YouTube has disabled the dislike feature, and I'm in favor of them keeping it. I like the ability to have people like or dislike a piece of content, whether they agreed or disagreed with it, or leave a comment. And I think by disabling the dislikes, it waters down the overall point of even evaluating content. And that's something that makes YouTube stand out from other platforms, whereas Facebook, you have generally people just have their family, their friends, people they went to school with, their immediate circle. You have Instagram, where it's just pictures, and they had a 15-second limit on videos and clips. Now it's a 60-second limit. Twitter has a character count limit. Same thing with TikTok, Snapchat, and other platforms. YouTube is a different ball game. It's a different animal, and I think that was something that had YouTube stand out from these other platforms. Now, there's a lot of reasons that they are disabling the dislike button, and some of the reasons they give that I've heard is that they're trying to help the little guy, where someone that's coming up in YouTube, they don't want hate speech or unnecessary dislikes or people being cyber bullies or whatever the case may be. That's the reasoning that they're giving, is to help the little guy come up from unnecessary negativity. But if you're going to go on YouTube, especially YouTube being kind of a different platform than the other platforms, it's kind of like on a higher tier. If you're going to come on YouTube, you should be open to criticism and negativity and people not agreeing with you and people not liking what you're doing. I think that's part of it. And some of the reasoning they're giving with protecting the little guy, I think also too, there's certain things, whether it's events happening in the world or certain narratives, that they're disabling the feature of somebody to dislike it or leave a negative comment or a comment that opposes what that video is trying to say or what narrative is trying to be pushed. I don't want to go too deep into those topics. Same thing with YouTube striking your channel or demonetizing something. There's just certain things that you can't go over on YouTube that could conflict with someone else's way of doing things in the world. So that, I'll just leave it at that. I just think it's unfortunate that they're disabling the dislike button. That's the thing too. It's a fine line, because I want to stay monetized on YouTube. Even with certain videos like MGTOW is one of those things that if you put MGTOW in your title or a tag, they could demonetize that video, whether it's men going their own way, not wanting to get married, not wanting the government involved in their relationships with women. A lot of these MGTOW videos get demonetized, and the reasons they give will say hate speech or anti-woman, but that's not what it is. But there could be an overall reason about why they don't want men to be free or to think about their decisions with who they're marrying or who they're signing a government contract with. So there's reasons behind why they let certain things go, why they demonetize certain things, and unfortunately that's just part of the game that you play, not just with YouTube and getting on that platform which somebody else owns and watches, but even getting hired at a job. There's a certain amount of rules and procedures that you have to follow to be an employee of that job. I run my own business right now at the beach in San Diego, but there's a job that I could go into right now, a bunch of places where they could just say, oh, well, we need you to get a haircut because your hair is crazy and all over the place, and I wouldn't work for a company like that. I want to grow my hair out. That's why I own my own business, so I can be independent from that. And a lot of places too aren't going to care about that, especially depending on the job and what you're doing. If you're better than the next applicant, they're not going to care, but some places are going to have a dress code, certain things that you can say or do that's going to make their company look a certain way, and you have to follow suit if you want to keep that job. Unfortunately, YouTube is one of those things, and so certain topics might go against somebody else. And so I'll just leave it at that. Certain things that people say about a certain narrative, a certain event that may be going on in the world, they don't want too many dislikes or negative reactions to something that may be happening, and they don't want the backlash from it, so maybe they're eliminating that. So like I said, they're saying that it's protecting the little guy, which I understand that to some extent, but if you're going to go on YouTube or any social media platform, especially with the intent to get monetized and make money, you should be open to criticism. I think anyone should have the ability to dislike your content, to where it shows to other people and to leave a comment. That's why I don't delete comments on my YouTube channel. I am in favor of likes and dislikes. I wish they would show the dislikes. It kind of makes it null and void now, the likes, because you just have the like count and then it just says the thumbs down with a dislike underneath, and only the creator knows. So things like tutorial videos, if I want to know how to do something, fix something around the house myself without hiring someone, you can go to a tutorial video, and the likes to the dislikes, it can show you right away whether that's a good tutorial or not. And I know that goes into the psychology of groupthink and peer pressure and like how other people viewed something, which is dangerous with a lot of topics, especially when we get into deeper topics about life and the world. It's definitely not a good thing to just look at, oh, who else agrees with this? How many people liked it versus disliked it, so I know how to formulate my own opinion. That's a very dangerous way to use likes and dislikes. But I think the feature should still be there, because if you're going to come onto YouTube, you should just be open to criticism. I'm on YouTube where I just got monetized last year. I hit my 1,000 subscribers in October of 2020. I got monetized in December of 2020 because that's when I hit the 4,000 watch hours, and I've been monetized since. So 2021 is the first year that I've been monetized. And with that, with people subscribing to your content, liking it, leaving comments, you benefiting from it in a certain way by you being able to pay bills with that money that people are indirectly paying you through the advertisements, because people don't owe you anything. If people agree with your content or want to see more of your content, then that is something to be appreciative of, because people watching your video could be doing a million different things with their day. They have their own lives to live, they have their own bills to pay. So the fact that someone watched your video, which gave you watch time, which gave you a subscription, which helped promote you, which helped paid you through the advertisements, you should be open to negativity. You should be open to criticism. You should be open to people not agreeing with your content. I think that's part of coming onto YouTube. That's why I use my real name, because I don't really know where I want this to go. There's a million things I want to do in life. It's not necessarily just one topic on one video and then I'm just that cliche, that niche for the rest of my life. Maybe I use YouTube to do something with my business or music or vlogging or traveling or cooking or gardening or whatever comes up. I'm only 27. I'm just getting started with my life. So that's why I used my name, and that's why I would prefer to keep the likes and the dislikes, because I think it's important. If someone didn't like the video, then let them dislike the video. Let them leave a comment saying why they didn't agree with something. The only time that comments have been deleted on my video is when the algorithm does it, or if someone just says something just so negative and unnecessary, and they also don't have a profile picture, they're not using a real name, and then you click on their profile and they have no content whatsoever. I mean, that's the only reason I would ever delete something. Other than that, I think it's open forum, especially, like I said, when people are giving you that view time, that watch time, when people are taking time out of their day to view something that you posted, when they could be making their own money, they have their own families, their own lives to live. I think it's important that you keep that feature, because this is different. This isn't Facebook, this isn't Instagram, this isn't Twitter, it's not Snapchat, not TikTok. YouTube is in a different realm than all those other platforms. So I would prefer that they keep the dislike button. I like the dislike button, because now that they've disabled it, it kind of devalues the importance of likes. Because if nobody can see it, what's the point of the likes or the dislikes? So what's the next step after that? If someone leaves a negative comment or they disagree, are they gonna ban negative comments because it hurts the creator's feelings? Cyberbullying, protecting the little guy from people putting them down when they're just trying to grow on YouTube. That's part of the reasoning that I'm hearing. It's like the YouTuber with 100 subscribers or 0 subscribers, they're just starting, they're just trying to come up the ladder, they're just trying to do their thing, and all these mean people in the world are shooting them down, and we're trying to protect that guy. Maybe you shouldn't be on YouTube if you can't take a thumbs down or a comment disagreeing. I think that's part of being a YouTuber. If it was that easy, everyone would be doing this. So I think when you're getting the benefit from that, you should also take the criticism too.